everybody, my name is Sally. For those of you who don't know me, but I'm hoping that pretty well everybody knows me. I am currently in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, and it is the Tuesday after Easter weekend. And I thought I would just show you another little video of how I make things. I came across this idea. I hope it works. It should work. I've done a few tests before I made this video, or as I'm making this video. Anyway, what I'm going to do is turn this ball of clay into this really cute little trinket holder, I guess. It's about, let me measure it. Right now it's just shy of 6 inches, but it'll probably be about 5 inches across when I'm finished. But it's been tricky getting the decal onto the clay without ruining it or smudging it or wiping it off. It's a bit of a process. I did a few tests yesterday and failed miserably, and then when I was awake this morning I thought, I know how I'm going to do it. So anyway, join me as with this ball of clay. It's about just a little over 8 ounces. And as usual, and as you've seen me do, oops, it's sliding around a bit. I probably put too much water on the bat. Anyway, all I'm going to do is just warm up the clay a little bit and get it centered onto my bat. You can see a lot of wiggle in my hands, but I will be getting rid of that as I put pressure. You can see the clay on my hand here. Let me move this down a little bit. And on here, and this shows you the pressure points of where I am pushing on the clay in order to move it all into the middle. And I test it. It's running smoothly between underneath my fingers, so that means it's centered. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flatten it into a disc. And then I'm going to draw out the clay from the middle and just draw it out to the sides. There's a whole lot of ways that this can be done. I have found the easiest way is really putting pressure on my knuckle. You can see where the clay is built up, and I just draw it out. And I've been doing it this way for a number of years now. And what I'm doing is just compressing this clay so that it won't crack during the firing process. But I pretty much got it to about the size I want it. Actually, I want it to about 6 inches. And I'm at 6 inches, almost 6 inches. So, but by the time I do the rest of the process, it'll spread it out a little bit more. And I'll just run my hand back and forth. Now what I need to do is to make this flat and even. It's going to create the bottom of this little trinket dish. It can be a cat dish. You see I have a little mound here. That's an air bubble. So I'm going to get rid of it. And that did it. Poke a little hole, not to the bottom, just poke a little hole. Anyway, I'm going to now use my rib to flatten out and get rid of excess clay. And I don't mind that little dip in the middle. I have a really neat tool. It's a little dirty. It's a really neat tool that's got this little dip. And I'm going to run that along the edge to round off the edge. And it takes away unwanted clay and gives me a nice finished rim of this pot. Even though right now it is laying flat, I will be moving it up and creating the wall, the small wall. Anyway, the more I do now, the less I have to do later. So again, just trimming the edge, tidying everything up. And then what I'm going to do is dry my hands off. I have a piece of, oh gosh, where did it go? Hold on a second. Okay, this is the transfer paper that I'm going to use, and I'm going to put this decoration onto the piece that I have there. What I need to do is just measure the width, and it is just under 6 inches. So I'll measure here. There's 6 inches. That will be ample. I don't need all of this, and it is costly, so I will rip off what I don't need. And now I'm going to lay this. This is an underglaze decal. Underglaze is a transfer. All of this design will transfer onto the pot, and then when I glaze it, it will burn through the glaze and create a design. And I have to lay it down very carefully. I don't want to get it fold because then that will ruin the pattern. Okay, so now I've got this decal laid down. I'll wipe it with a wet sponge, and that, much like a body tattoo, I guess, this will lay the image down onto the glaze. I need to compress it a little bit so that the design will release. I'm going to do it slowly. I can see a bit of a smudge, which didn't happen on the other ones, and I think that's because I wet it. Test it to see. Yeah, it's released off the paper. So now I'm just going to lift it and peel it off. And now, to finish making the bowl, I'm just going to take my rib and I'm going to nudge it under the edge here, and it's going to lift the clay up off my bat. This is a bat, and it will start to create the wall. And I just continue to slide that under, and then I will give it a sharper angle, and it creates the wall. And I just let it run it. Hold my hands as steady as I can. My left hand is supporting my right hand. And that should be about it. I will clean the edge, and I have another nifty-difty tool that will go in and pick up the clay and make a little bevel at the bottom. And that's about it. There's a process where I can leave this on this bat and it will dry and release on its own, creating a flat bottom, but here you go. So this is the one I made previously, and this is the one you're seeing me make now. I'm really delighted with it, and I will show you after I bisque fire it, and I'm going to glaze it, and I'll show you the finished product. But it's really pretty. Anyway, again, we're practicing social distancing, sorry about that. And it is just important that you keep yourself safe, keep the ones you love safe. Please wear a mask when you're out in public. Just do all the right things, and we'll get through this together. Bye.